So as I hear it, San Diego gave us another statement, and as she is predictable and scripted, it should have gone like this. Yeah, got job, oppression, I hate you, die. Subtext. Okay, there's a lot of things I want to say about this. Here we go again. You guys also told me to get a job when I was in Europe, and it was illegal for me to work. And for the 3 years that I was there, you held me accountable for not wanting to be a criminal and not being able to work. And you told everybody not to give me any money because I refused to be deported with this illegal act that I will be caught for. Why? Because it's not only a liability to the business when they find out. I'm a public figure. I can't. And you held me liable to that, okay, and kept me very poor and blamed me for that, okay. So you're already deranged. Now I think you're still on this thing. No surprise there. There's a valid reason that I can't get a job at this time, and it goes like this. I came to you, Kaya, as a responsible parent, which, by the way, you are not my child's parent. I am the parent, so what should happen to me and my child should be 100% under my control. Has nothing to do with you. You, okay, and cross that line, Theresa. Oh, no, because I'm already tallying. I'm already tallying the score, okay? You don't have to know what that means, because I do. I'm on a different kick, dude. It feels justified to punish the wicked. I got no problem with it. And I am pro-truth. So let's go there. We will one day, Theresa. We'll go there. So, okay. Well, I came to Ukiah and asked for general relief. Now, when I got here, I had only been in Ukiah for 1 day and went immediately to the services, was unable to prove my residency, which has to be 15 days a resident, and I was unable to do that because I'm not a resident. No mail or anything to prove that, okay? So, that was the first issue. You have to go in 3 days to get general assistance. There's 3 different appointment times. I only went to one, was reading in the parking lot on the second one, and decided to opt out of getting general relief because general relief was only $200 something. And when you are a parent and you're in your second trimester, you get a bit more than that. The amount I'm not sure of yet because I haven't talked to that program yet. So being that I wasn't in the second trimester yet, if I had taken general relief, it would have counted as an income and then cut off my ability to get this other relief, which is more important because it's ongoing. It can provide education, which I thought, didn't my family say they cared? Oh, you did? Well, then you probably want me to get on this program then because it'll pay for it. And that last class I need and all that would be an option then. Okay, and I'd be on it for the next 2 years, but you don't really want that, do you? Yeah, because it's not about ethics, it's about escape. And so I can't get on general relief because by the time I could even apply, it would have gone into August, which would have cut me off for the more important benefits. So I have to wait. So I can't get a job, Theresa, but you didn't condescend to ask. You went on your assumptive bullshit thinking, which is sabotaging to me once again, just like you did in Europe. No surprise there. I don't see why they keep getting to be dictators of my life, and that's okay. I don't, even if it makes no sense and would get me deported, arrested, or kicked off of a benefit program. This makes no sense. What does make sense is that they are trying to oppress my story and actually put me and my child in danger. Why? Because they don't want it to exist, because you said I was a guy, isn't that right? Wow, okay, so you want to remain keeping me and my child in danger. That's very abundantly clear with your bullshit logic. Well, what else is new? How many times are you going to do that, right? Not the first time. So, that is the reason that I can't do it. I would have to work under the table. I did actually do that on a couple jobs. On the first one, moving boxes for the house, I believe you said I was a prostitute of some sort, so that obviously backfired, and they didn't prove that. They did have a well-lit shower and asked me if I wanted to shower there. I declined. So obviously that's what happens when I work. Now, on the other gig, I did pick weeds for a school, and did that in the heat for hours, and was paid for that, and it was very nice of this very nice, wonderful woman to give me that opportunity. On the first day, I couldn't do it because my morning sickness was so out of control, and by that next time I had a remedy, an herbal remedy that helped me through it, and since then my morning sickness is coming back. But it was like I was immobile, which is a real thing, disabled, and unable to work, but there was no compassion there. So that's why all of that. I want to go into ideology of this. I always do, about the work thing. I'm not sure why this has become Captain Ethics about work. Again, I'm not Protestant and didn't sign on for this idea of work being synonymous with God, but I don't know what my family came out as, but they don't like Jesus, they hate Christians, except for Dylan, and I mean my immediate California family, and they'll be like, no, yes, they joined a satanic cult, and are at war with God. So as far as joining them in any arena, I'm not gonna do that. I'd rather be homeless and with God than with devil worshippers like you. I don't know why I have to be part of my family's religion or ideology in order to be correct. They keep using cunning language and rules in order to convince you that you shouldn't have helped me in Europe, even though it was illegal for me to work. Didn't they accuse me of being a criminal for many years and then say I was a citizen and all the shit? I mean, come on, man. They lie and lie and lie and lie and lie, and you think they're above it. It's pretty obvious what they're doing at this time. So the point is, you are now endangering me and my child, which, yes, I will take. You have no idea. You have no idea what you're doing. No, go ahead. Go ahead, because I know the score. You're not going to like it. Come on, I almost relish it, man. I almost relish it. The outcome of all of this. And keep going. Keep putting me and my child in danger. Okay. But you are not the parent. You have no legal right to do that. It is completely immoral to do that. And because you want to play a game, that's what you continue to choose to do. So I do want to leave you with actually a wise thing that I learned in church. And I want to point out, what about the reddith of your soul? What Theresa talks mainly about materialism. That seems to be what she comes on here. What she has, the work that what her work has yielded her, and how my work has yielded me nothing. First of all, I don't understand why I have to work if I have millions as a prostitute, and da 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 da. Second of all, I don't see why work would help if I would be aiding, just like someone giving me money, aiding drug addiction. So that makes no sense. What is the point then? What is the point? And no one has explained it to me. They just talk behind my back, which is really unfair. And I guess as you're amassing things this whole time for comparison and living your kind of Americana lifestyle that you assume is so correct, where's God? Where's God in any of that? And why do I have to do all those things? Well, you know, a nun might renounce all her possessions and go have a shelter and have food and live in a monastery. I don't know if you're saying that you're Christian, but what you're doing is not Christian. You're supposed to take care of your neighbor. You're supposed to love your sister. You're supposed to give to those in need, and not to judge and condemn and make sure that they subscribe to your will. It should be about God's will, which is really just between the person and God. So who made Theresa God, and why has it been going on for 5 years? Blasphemy. Especially for such a godless heathen. Now she'll come back, oh, I'm a churchgoer and all these things, and it's bullshit. Theresa, of actually the entire family next to my father, is the one that mocks not just religion, but every spiritual belief, does not believe in religion or anything spiritual. Anything spiritual, whether it's New Age, Buddhism, or esoteric thought, will not do it. We are all worm food, and the only goal is to amass things and die. So I don't know why that has been equivalent to God's voice this whole time. But where is God? And I want to leave you with what I learned in church. Theresa, if you don't know what that is, that it's a building where, at least in theory, people talk about God and try to summon his presence. Holy Spirit. You're gonna just have to look all this up. Jesus. God have mercy, because I'm running out. In church, I learned that the pastor gave a very wise thing last Sunday, and he said that there's a story of, I think it's Mary and Martha, and Jesus comes over for dinner, and Martha's in a tizzy with her things. Martha is working hard in kind of her stressed way that she does, much like Theresa, except not working hard on salary. But and we're making sure the placemat's just right, and the tablecloth, and that the food is prepared, and doing all the things. And Mary's just simply taking in the moment and the memory of Jesus with reverence, letting her soul be filled. What an opportunity to relish in. And Martha misses it, and instead is trying to be a good host, which is fine, but then takes it a step farther. It's fine, she can do whatever she wants, but she turns around and puts the judgment on Mary, in a sexist way that she does, because no one's asking anyone, and any of the males to help. I noticed she turns around to Mary and goes to complain to Jesus. This is what he needs to deal with as the guest, which is actually pretty rude. And says, look at how Mary's just sitting there listening to you instead of helping me do this and that. Don't you think that's wrong? And Jesus is like, I don't. I think it's wonderful that she wants to sit in and take in the spirit of all of this. And Theresa, you're so quick to pronounce all the shuffling and busy work and all the things you want me to be like, which is really just a mask for the ways that you wish I'd die, in order to be like you, that you can't just let me be like me. And regardless of all the rumors, many of which I've dispelled, I've been a really spiritual person for a long time, and you know nothing of this. Nothing of this. And you're sitting there telling me I have to live like you for what? If the ultimate purpose is to get closer to God, which to me that is, I know it means nothing to you, then why are you God? And why are you so codependently toxic as to be telling me what? Why don't you mind your own business? I don't care what you do. If you want to amass things and die and not know God, I feel sorry for you, but I think it's appropriate that you've forsaken God, because God will forsake you. Really, that's okay with me. I think that's suffering on its own and unbeknownst to you. I'm alright with it. You live your life, but you want to glob on to controlling everything about mine for 5 years, and no one stops and says, this is really unhealthy behavior, that maybe Theresa needs to go to Al-Anon or whatever in her mind, therapy, or get her own preoccupation instead of just sitting there competing with her sister. saying, oh, well, my life, look at what I do, look at, this and that. And by the way, you're on a fixed salary, you make about 30 grand a year. In the 5 years that you've been doing this, before taxes, that's $150,000. Your houses were about $500,000 a piece, not including your cars and all your stuff and babies and all the stuff you got. It means you didn't pay for shit. Not to mention your past, I think you're on about 16 to 18 vacations. So really, you didn't even earn the majority of money that you've spent. Right. So on top of all that, you don't practice what you preach, and that is your God. Why do I have to listen to Martha? Why can't I just do what I'm doing? And why can't all I want to do is protect my baby, live in safety, have God, express my story, get all of this out, and live my life simply and walk God's path? Why is that so wrong? Because it's not what the Satanists want. That's the real